It is currently 4:23, and today I'm taking you guys to a training session with me. Today we're hitting hamstrings, and the training that I'm doing is with the sole purpose of body recompositioning, which has a lot to do with increasing your muscle mass and decreasing your fat mass. However, training is really going to be helping with the increasing the muscle mass part, but we will be doing a little bit of cardio as well at the end of the video to help with the fat loss, although fat loss is mainly done through nutrition. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and head straight into the gym. All right, so we're here in the gym now. I'm going to start with my warm-up, which is lying hamstring curls for about 2 sets of 20, just to get those firing properly. I do want to say that I know I tell you guys when structuring your lifts and stuff, pick whatever you guys want to do, whatever muscle group that you want to grow or target out of personal preference, and put that first. So it's the first day of my training week, which my training week always starts on Tuesday. And so because the biggest thing that I want to grow right now, or the one that needs the most priority, is my hamstrings. And so those are going to be at the beginning of the week. And this is a day solely focused on growing those hamstrings just because it's a weak point for me. And so I'm going to start by warming them up, obviously. And then we're going to get into majority hamstring focused day. This is like an example of what I say, like what you want to bring up, prioritize it, put it first and give it everything you got at the beginning of the week. So that is what I'm doing here. All right, so we have our workout here on my phone, which I don't know if you can see. Pause if you want to see that. All right, now we're gonna go straight into single leg standing hamstring curls. And I'm gonna do a pause for the second at the top to really hold that contraction. Now, the problem with this is I can't really even add any weight to be able to do the full pause and also to do it with the proper form. So we'll see how I feel. If we can add weight, we'll maybe add a 5 or a 10. All right, now we're back on the lying leg curl, except this time it's going to be for reps. And then the last set, we're going to do a drop set. All right, so we just finished our workout. Lift is about, I'll put up the time right here from the app. It was about 48 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into that cardio. A lot of times for me, it's not even actually about the workout in and of itself. Like, of course, I want to be getting better in terms of my reps and you know, the weight I can push and all that kind of stuff. But one thing that's been congruent across all the seasons and phases that I've been through in my life is training. Not because of, oh, I just happen to enjoy it, or I just happen to like this stuff. Yeah, you learn to enjoy it after you do it for a long time, but running until you feel like you're gonna pass out and still going forward anyways, or training and pushing weight that feels heavy and feels painful and feels uncomfortable and you really don't want to push yourself half the time, that stuff isn't ever going to be fun for anyone. You have to condition yourself to enjoy things that make you better. The biggest game changer I made was forcing myself to go when I didn't want to, forcing myself to do bullshit I didn't want to do, because number one, I learned to enjoy it, but number two, I attached my dopamine to things that actually move the needle for me in my life. No, is picking up a dumbbell, going on a run, doing some sort of endurance training fun? Rarely is it ever fun. Yeah, I learned to enjoy it over the years, but it makes me better, it improves my health, and it sharpens my mental axe and my physical axe. And if you don't consistently, intentionally put the effort forth to be able to get better, you will wake up living your life on autopilot one day and being like, wow, I've let myself go. And I've experienced that through different things. A breakup. I go through a really tough breakup and I feel like I just can't muster up the courage to go to the gym. But I just don't have it in me. Or, you know, I'm really burnt out. You guys know I have a background in athletics and sports when I was a kid. I've always been competitive, so I love to play ball. After I got out of high school and decided that college just wasn't gonna be in the cards for me in terms of athletics, I quit. And I was like, I'm so tired of practicing once, twice a day sometimes, and just always having to do something, being booked so, like my weekends being so booked with practice and training and never having time to do the things that I wanted to, which essentially was just to fuck around and, you know, just chill with my friends. I wanted to do that. But when I quit sports for the first time and didn't have a packed schedule and didn't have something forcing me to be physically active and I had no structure, I lost what it was that I used to think that I hated. It was that structure that I got from sports, from practicing physical fitness to always being at the top of my game, that made me have the strength to be able to move forward. When I quit sports, I lost my athleticism. I was like slow. I felt out of shape. I had a lot of brain fog. I just felt so lost. And it was because I let go of the difficult things that at the time I was being forced to do because I was just a kid. I was literally just a kid. Like, I didn't know that that was what was yielding my growth. But when I made that decision, or I understood that in my head, that yeah, I didn't want to go half the time, but because I was forced to, I was forcing myself to grow. And I never regretted showing up ever. Every single time I went to practice, I never regretted it. And then the minute that I quit, I felt lost. I had no structure. I started to lose my athletic abilities. I got out of breath. I lost my endurance, all that kind of stuff. And I understood that you're rarely going to want to do the things that you absolutely need to do, but you will always have the choice. And if I'm being honest, it's like the fallacy of a choice. You can either do something that brings you closer to where you truly deep down know you want to be, or you can do something that slows you down. There's absolutely no neutrality. There's no like common ground. I used to think when I was younger that, oh, if I just don't show up to practice today, I'm still right here. Like, I can just continue and pick up where I left off. That's not true. You regress. There's no, oh, I can just not show up today and I'll be totally fine and just pick up where I left off. There is like, if you don't show up, you start regressing and you lose your ability and your endurance or your strength, whatever the case may be. Yeah, you can get it back, but if you don't keep the ball rolling, if you lose that momentum, it's a hell of a lot harder to get back where you were. And that's often what causes those spirals where you get stuck and you start to let yourself go, and maybe you even skip the gym and then you binge, and then all of a sudden you've gained 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds and you can't get a grip. So on the days when I don't want to show up, I know that it's way more than just picking up a couple weights or running on the treadmill. It is way more to me than that. And I have understood that time and time again, whether it be, you know, quitting my practice and then all of a sudden I've lost my abilities and feeling so lost and insecure in myself, and not insecure in myself because, oh my God, I can't train, like I'm worthless. That's not what I mean. I mean, I know what I wanted and I willingly let myself fall off track or lose sight of that because of something that I wanted temporarily in the moment. Whether it be my inability to handle tough times or tough emotions or whatever the case might be, maybe my inability to persevere, whatever. And it's never about the literal weights themselves or the training or the working out. Working out, although half the time I don't want to do it, has significantly made my life better in not just ways of my physical performance. It has improved my mental health. It gives me something to cling to when I feel like nothing else is in my control. My ability to constantly push myself, always show up and give everything I got, even when sometimes it feels like I have nothing, is simply because it's not about the weight. It's not about my speed. It's not really even about the physique in some sense. It's about proving it to myself. Because every single time I let myself down, I'm taking a giant step backward. But every single time I show up, I'm committing to the momentum to getting where I want to be. I'm not saying that every single day you have to be at 100%. I'm not saying that every workout has to be perfect, but committing to yourself that you will give everything that you have, even when it's a little, is how you build confidence and how you trust yourself to be able to do hard shit and get where you want to be. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want me to be your coach, I will link that in the description of this video. If you're a good fit, I will personally be reaching out to you. As always, remember to do hard shit and be confident. Don't forget to have the courage to be uncomfortable, but most importantly, do not forget how much I'm rooting for you guys and how much I love you guys. Y'all know I will link my Instagram in the description of this video as well. If you need anything at all, go ahead and message me there and I will get back to you with a voice message. I love y'all so much and I will see you guys in the next video.